What's up, Thug Mamas? So, this video is going to be pretty controversial compared to all of the other ones. And the reason behind that is, and your kids are going to love it, but you're probably going to hate it. So if you don't want them to hear my message, have them leave the room now. So, here's my thing. I currently do not limit my kids in the playing video games, like online, the Fortnite, all that stuff. The reason for that is this. I grew up in Chicago, right? Not the greatest neighborhood, not the greatest friends, not the greatest stuff I did. And actually, it's funny because I was just talking to my husband yesterday, and he's turning 40 this week coming up. And I was joking around. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get you some 40s for your birthday because you're turning 40, right? And I was like, wow, I think I had my first 40 when I was 12, which is the same age as my twins. So then I sat there and I was kind of thinking like, 12-year-olds playing Fortnite in the house where I know they are and they're safe, or 12-year-olds running the streets drinking. Which would I rather? So that was where I kind of was thinking like, it's not the end of the world. And, times have changed, things have evolved, and that's kind of how they hang out with their friends. Because, obviously you could say, oh, I'm going to Jimmy's house to play video games. And they do that as well. But because they're in these, where they're like playing against each other, I mean, I honestly, like my son's friends bring their Xbox to our house. We set up an additional TV for them to play against each other in their room. So it's sort of like the way that they play, the way that they, these video games are, it's evolved into something totally different. So they're online where they have their microphone, and then they're able to still like hang out with their friends. So I know this is not going to be popular, like I said, among the parents because you're going to want to limit your kids, and I get that. But if your children, like my children, have really good grades, they're good boys, they do their chores, they do all those things. And I'm not saying I don't have to have conversations like, okay, put the remote down, you need to come and help me do this. Put the remote down, you need to let the dogs out, things like that. I'm not saying like just let them have free reign and not have them have any responsibilities and that comes first. No. What I am saying is that there's a way for them to hang out with their friends and then also do all their chores. So for me, I had to have a conversation just this last week. I said, I want you to be able to hang out and play these games with your friends, but you have to do schoolwork first, then your chores, hang out with the family, then do that. So you have to learn how to balance. And that's what I explained to my son. I said, life is all about balance. Life is all about time management. So I said, the sooner you understand time management, the better off you will be. So you have to learn how to do that. So this is how you're going to learn. If you won't have this thing you want to do, you have to do the things you need to do first. And he understood what I was saying, and he obviously is working on it, and it's always going to be an adjustment. This last week was actually really tough because I was like feeling like every day I had to have a conversation with somebody because they were fighting or the school or whatever. But as I think about it, like I was saying, like when I was 12 years old, and granted, I was a good kid, like I just hung around with a bad crowd, and I lived in a, not such a great neighborhood. So it was just different influences and different things like that. And I was lucky enough that my mom moved me out of the city and into the suburbs, and then I was able to kind of grow up because honestly, like there's a handful of my friends who are either gone or in jail because of the life that they chose because they didn't grow up. So, I kind of teach my kids that, like, obviously there's always people that are going to have it worse than you. And I tried to make the best decisions I could when I was younger. But, inevitably, if you have bad friends that, kind of get you into trouble, you're going to get into trouble sometimes. And I did. So I guess I feel like they're home. I know where they are. They're not playing with weirdos. They're playing with friends. So, I still monitor it. But I don't limit it as probably as much as somebody else may have, because to me, I look at it like they're safe. and I know that they're not being influenced. I know that they're good boys, and I know that they can be trusted online, so that's why I don't limit it as much. Once their schoolwork, if their schoolwork was to suffer, then obviously we would put those limitations on there. But I just, I kind of wanted to present it to parents in a way to look at it a little bit differently and think about the things you were doing at their age, and sort of maybe it'll give you some insight into maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe this isn't the worst decision they could possibly make. So there are things that, plus sides to the way that technology is these days. So with that in mind, I just wanted to kind of put that out there, let you think about it, whatever you need to do, because I do think that kids look to us to be fair, and they don't want to disappoint us, and they also want to be able to have the socialization with their friends. And I know, like I said, I know that I'm gonna get flack because they're like, play outside, da da da. They don't have friends in this neighborhood, so they have friends, lots of friends, but like here it's like, Mom, can you drive me to this person's house? Can you drive me to that person's? Because we're so spread out. So it makes it, they want to like be able to do things and not have to involve us all the time. Like to make us have to like schedule play dates and things like that. It's just like, I want to be able to go upstairs in my room, relax, have a controller in my hand, and play with my friends. That's basically it. So maybe just a little bit of a different perspective for the parents out there who, kind of don't really like that their kids play video games all the time. Just maybe a different thought. I know it's probably not going to be popular, but I thought I would share. So if you like what you hear, and maybe not in this video, but check out the other ones, because there are some, there is some good advice and some helpful tips. And if you like it, click it, subscribe to it, or give a thumbs up. And I will be back. Thank you. Bye-bye.